Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that you're fine wherever you are. It's me Ermi again from Jijjiga University, and this is Fortino Educational Tube. Today I'm going to present you a tutorial on Introduction to Economics module prepared by Ministry of Science and Higher Education. We will concentrate on Unit 1, Part 3 actually. With this video tutorial, we have the following contents. So the first one is we will see basic economic questions, economic systems, and decision-making units. Basic economic questions, or in other words, بليلة قال, we can call them basic economic problems. Okay? Questions, problems. What are they? They are economic problems faced by any economic system because of a scarcity of resources. So, basic economic questions or basic economic problems are economic problem faced by any economic system due to a scarcity or limitation of resources. And these economic problems are common to all economic systems. Okay, እነዚህ economic problems ለሁሉም economic systems common ናቸው። ለሁሉም ሰው ልብ እንዳለው ሁሉ ሁሉም ሰው አጥንት እንዳለው ሁሉ any economic system do have these economic questions or these economic problems. እሺ ስለዚህ የትኛውም ኢኮኖሚክ ሲስተም የሚያጋጥሙት እነዚህ ፕሮብለሞች ሶስት ናቸው. The first one is what to produce, ምን እናምርት. The second one is how to produce, እንዴት እናምርት. And the third one is for whom to produce, ለማን እናምርት የሚሉ ኩዌስችኖች ናቸው. ስለዚህ የነዚህን ዲቴል ዲፈረንስ ለማየት ወደሚቀጥለው ስላይድ እንሄዳለን. Economic questions or economic problems ስንት ናቸው? There are three, right? So what is the first one? The first one is what to produce. What about the second one? The second one is how to produce question. And the third one is for whom to produce. Okay, when we say what to produce, it means it is a problem of allocation of resources. Shall we produce in agriculture? Or shall we concentrate on manufacturing industry? For example, any given economic system, for example, Ethiopian economic system, because of its limited resources, Ethiopia do have limited budget, right? So in limited budget, Ethiopia has to allocate it to different activities. In budget, ለተለያዩ activities allocate ታደርጋለች. So what to produce question is related with allocation of resource የተባለው ለዚህ ነው ማለት ነው. ኦኬ ስለዚህ in other word ደግሞ what to produce ማለት ምን እናምርት ሲባል we are deciding which goods or services that we are going to produce. በሌላ ቋንቋ which goods and services ሲባል we can say which output ወይንም which product are we going to produce የሚለውን decision የምንወስደው what to produce በሚለው ኢኮኖሚክ question ነው. በነገራችን ላይ ኢኮኖሚክ ሪሶርስስ are limited አይደል? ኢኮኖሚክ ሪሶርስስ ሊሚትድ ስለሆኑ output 1 option አለን, output 2 option አለን, output 3 and output 4. Let's say they are our options of production. So our resources are limited. How many options of production do we have? Actually, as an example, we have 4, right? So if we want to increase production of A, if we want to increase, then we have to divert resources from production B, production D, production C, resources ወደ production A shift እናደርጋለን. Why? ለምንድን ነው shift የምናደርገው? Because ያለን resource መጠነኛ ስለሆነ ማለት ነው. Okay? So economic resources are limited. We must reduce the production of other goods. B, C, D የተባሉትን ፕሮዳክሽኖች እንቀንሳለን in order to produce another types option A ለመጨመር ያልኳችሁ ማለት ነው. Okay, while we continue how to produce ወደሚለው question ስንመጣ how to produce የሚለው question ደግሞ it is a problem of choice of techniques ወይም in other word it is choosing between techniques of production በእጄ ላምረት ማኑዋል ላምረት ወይስ ማሽኖች ልጠቀም ምናምን የሚሉ ways of production ማለት ነው ለምሳሌ if we talk about agriculture በማሽን ማምረት አለ በእጅ ማምረት አለ በበሬ ማረስ አለ በትራክተር ማረስ አለ በእጅ ማጨድ አለ በኮምባይነር ማጨድ አለ so we have so many options by the way ነገራችን ላይ techniques of production available for the producers are two ያሉን techniques of production ካታጎሪዎች ሁለት ናቸው ኦኬ አንደኛው labor intensive the second one is capital intensive so when we say labor intensive ሲባል we use more labor than capital on a given output when we say capital intensive ሲባል ደግሞ we use more capital compared to labor ያው capital ሲባል እንደ ኤግዛምፕል ማሽነሪዎችን መውሰድ እንችላለን ስለዚህ የሆነ production ላይ if we use more machineries other than labor that production is known as capital intensive ይባላል for a given production if we use more labor other than capital we call that production labor intensive ብለን እንሰይመዋለን ማለት ነው ስለዚህ how to produce የሚለው question ወይም economic problem it is a problem of selecting techniques of production በየትኛው መንገድ ላምርት የሚለውን መምረጥ ነው እዚህ ጋር ምን እንደምናመርት መረጥን ቀጥሎ እንዴት እንደምናመርት okay here we have selected what kind of products that we are going to produce the next step is how are you going to produce what are the methods or what are the techniques that we are going to use in a production so how many techniques of production do we have two techniques of production right so the first one is labor intensive no the second one is capital intensive no the third question is for whom to produce ለማን እናምርት የሚለውን question ነው የምንጠይቀው when we say that it is the problem of distribution of national products ያመረትነውን ምርት ለማ distribute እናድርግ የሚል questionን የሚመልስ economic problem or economic question no so it relates to how material product is going to be distributed among the members of the society ምርቶች በሶሳይቲው ሜምበር ውስጥ እንዴት ነው ዲስትሪቢዩት የሚደረጉት የሚለው ጥያቄ የሚያነሳ portion ነው the economy must decide for example whether to produce for a benefit of few rich people or for the large size or large number of poor people okay ይሄ ኢኮኖሚው ለምሳሌ የኢትዮጵያ ኢኮኖሚ መወሰን አለበት for whom to produce ለማን እናምርት ለሰፊው ደሃ እናምርት ወይስ ለትንሾቹ ሀብታሞች እናምርት shall we produce for a small number of rich people or shall we produce for the large number of the society who are poor actually so if we decide ፖሮቹ ማምረት አለብን if we decide to produce for the poor which means we are selecting necessity goods ማለት necessity የሆኑ አውትፑቶችን እናምርት የሚለውን በዚህ ጥያቄ እንመልሳለን if we select or we decide to produce for the rich category of the society we have to concentrate on the production of luxury goodsን ለማምረት ወሰነናል ማለት ነው ስለዚህ እነዚህ ሶስት questions are questions to be asked by any economic system ማለት ነው okay coming to 1.6 it is entitled with economic systems okay economic systems ምን ማለት ነው what do we mean by saying economic systems it is a way how the society manages its resource allocation issue production issue and distribution of products issue so economic systems ሲባል አንድ ሶሳይቲ ሪሶርስን አሎኬት ማድረግን ምርትን ማምረትንና ያመረተውን ዲስትሪቢዩት ማድረግን እንዴት ነው ማኔጅ የሚያደርግበት ሲስተም ማለት it is economic system okay so economic systems are generally categorized into three እነዚህ ሜቶዶች ወይም ሲስተሞች በሶስት ይከፈላሉ The first one is capitalist, where most of the time we call it free market economy ይባላል. The second one is command economy, and the third one is mixed economy. You know, basic difference actually. What are the basic differences? ሲባል 1.5 ላይ we have seen how many questions as an economic problems. We have seen 3, right? What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. አይደለ? እነዚህን ጥያቄዎች የምንመልስበት ሁኔታ ወይም እነዚህን ጥያቄዎች ስንመልስ የመንግስት ጣልቃ ገብነት ምን ያክል ነው የሚለው እነዚህን 3 ኢኮኖሚክ ሲስተሞች ለመከፋፈል መጠቀም እንችላለን. We can use a criteria to classify economic systems into 3 like this: the government involvement in answering those 3 basic economic questions. What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Government's role in answering this question can be used as a criteria to classify economic systems in such a way. Okay, እንደዚህ economic system በሶስት ለመክፈል የገቨርንመንት ሮል ሶስቱን ጥያቄዎች ሲመልስ ምን ያክል ነው የሚለውን መውሰድ እንችላለን። እና ይሄንን ስንወስድ when we take this as a criteria in a capitalist government intervention there is no ማለት ይቻላል. It is minimal, extremely minimal intervention ነው ሶስቱን ጥያቄዎች ሲመልስ ወይም economic decision ላይ ሲገባ መንግስት almost minimal insignificant የሆነ ትንሽ የሮል ነው ያለው. It has a minimal role. Command ላይ when we come to command everything is controlled by the government. The privates are not allowed to control the economy. ስለዚህ ኢኮኖሚው ወይም those 3 questions, those 3 economic questions are going to be answered completely by the government if we are talking about ስለ command መናወራ ከሆነ ማለት ነው. So in capitalist we said there is no government intervention or it's minimal. In a command we say there is total or complete control of the economy by the government. ስለዚህ when we come to mixed means capitalist plus command ማለት ነው. Okay, the command system and capitalist system coming together, which means the government and the private sector works together ማለት ነው. በሚክስድ ኢኮኖሚ ላይ ዲስከስ እናደርግ. Okay, so now let's see the characteristics. If somebody asks you a question, what is capitalist economic system? Still, what should be the characteristics coming to your mind? When we say command, what are the images that are expected to be created in your mind? When we say mixed economy, what are the features? Okay, so let's continue. Capitalist has its own features. The first feature of a capitalist economy is that there is a right for a private property. በካፒታሊስት ኢኮኖሚክ ሲስተም ውስጥ የግል ንብረት ማፍራት ይቻላል. Okay, you have the right to have your own private property. የራስ መሬት፣ የራስ ቤት፣ የራስ ካፒታል ሊኖርህ ይችላል. You have the right ማለት ነው. There is no limit. As long as you capture, as long as and as much as you are able to capture more and more and more properties, there is no limit for you. የፈለግከውን ያህል ንብረት ብታፈራ there is no limit. Okay, ለምሳሌ ቢል ጌት ዛሬ ይሰራል፣ ነገ ቢሊየን ያገኛል፣ ከነገ ወዲያ ቢሊየነር ነው ያለ. This is an example of a private property. ግን መንግስት መጥቶ ከዚህን ያህል ከ1 ቢሊየን ብር በላይ አንድ ግለሰብ መያዝ አይችልም ካለ it means your right to have private property limit ያደርጋል ማለት ነው. ስለዚህ in a capitalist system there is no limitation on accumulation of private property ብለን እንወስዳለን. Consumers in a capitalist economic system have freedom of choosing anything they want to purchase የሚለውን መውሰድ አለብን ምንም መግዛት ይፈልጉ ምንም ኮንሱመሮች መብታቸው ነው ማንንም አይከለክላቸውም this is known as a principle of consumer sovereignty የሚባል principle ነው so freedom of choice by consumer is the principle of consumer sovereignty ብላችሁ explain ማድረግ ወይም understand ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ okay continuing the other feature of a capitalist economy is profit motive ማንንም አያስገድደውም አንድ አምራችን ማንንም ይሄን አምርት ያን አምርት አይሉ okay no one will force a producer to produce any kind of product the producer itself decides what to produce okay what to produce የሚለውን ጥያቄ how to produce የሚለውን ጥያቄ for whom to produce የሚለውን ጥያቄ the producers themselves answer these questions okay so ማንንም ያስገድደው the producers select production because of profit if production A is profitable than production B then the producer would select profit production A ይመርጣል ማለት ለምን ይመረጠው መንግስት አስገድዶት ነው አይደለም ትርፋማ ስለሆነ ብቻ ነው ስለዚህ there is profit motive አለ ማለት ነው while answering those three economic questions continuing it is about competition ሁሉም ኮምፒት ያደርጋል ፕሮዲዩሰሩ ኮምፒት ያደርጋል ኮንሱመሩ ኮምፒት ያደርጋል and sellers will compete ያደርጋሉ there is competition capitalist system ሲባል በቃ በኮምፒቲሽን የሚኖር ሲስተም ነው ለምሳሌ for example producers will compete producers or sellers will compete ለምንድነው ኮምፒት የሚያደርጉ why do sellers and producers compete with each other they compete in order to get more customers አይደል ብዙ ደንበኛ ለማግኘት ሴለሮች ወይንም ፕሮዲዩሰሮች ኮምፒት ያደርጋሉ coming to buyers themselves ገዢዎች ራሳቸው ኮምፒት ያደርጋሉ ምን ለማድረግ why in order to get better products in order to purchase more products they will compete with each other ማለት ነው even workers ሰራተኞች ራሱ in order to get better job ደህና የሚከፈላቸውን ስራ ለማግኘት ኮምፒት ያደርጋሉ workers will compete each other in order to get better job even employers the producers themselves compete with each other sometimes in order to employ better workers skilled የሆነ educated የሆነ manpower in order to get them producers or else the employers compete with each other so capitalist system is full of competition okay all right in a capitalist system the capitalist system ውስጥ price mechanism እንዴት ነው ኦፕሬት የሚያደርገው price mechanism ሲባል when we say price mechanism how does the price of a product is decided ነው የሚባለው or what are the ways to determine a price of a product የሚሸጡ ዕቃዎችን ዋጋ የሚወሰንበት ሂደት we call it price mechanism okay so ይሄ price mechanism እንዴት ነው የሚወሰነው ካፒታሊስት ላይ ዲማንድ እና ሰፕላይ ራሳቸው የገዢውና የሻጩ ሳይድ by negotiation they will determine the price ማንም ዋጋ ራሱ አያወጣ who determines the price mechanism ማለት ነው ራሱ demand and supply ራሳቸው price of producትን determine ያደርጋሉ so in a capitalist economic system price is determined by the price mechanism ብለን መውሰድ እንችላለን ማለት ነው okay ስለዚህ all basic economic problems are solved through the price mechanisms okay እንደዛ ብለን እንወስዳለን ማለት ነው as I told you before in capitalist economic system government intervention is almost zero or minor role ነው የሚሰጠው መንግስት በጣም ትንሽ ሮል ይሄ ማስከበር ምናምን ስራዎች እንጂ ኢኮኖሚስ በሰፊው ይገባል ተብሎ አይወሰድም በካፒታሊስት ሲስተም ሌላው ሰልፍ ኢንትረስት ኢኮኖሚክ ዩኒቶች አሉ አይደል እነዚህ አምራች ኮንሱመሩ ነጋዴው እነዚህ ኢኮኖሚክ ዩኒትስ these economic units ኦፕሬት የሚያደርጉት የሚንቀሳቀሱት በራሳቸው ፍላጎት ነው based on self interest ነው ኦኬ ጥሩ ነገር ለማግኘት self interest ስላላቸው based on that self interest they operate in the economic system ማለት ነው ማንንም ፎርስ አያደርጋቸውም ነጋዴውን ይሄን አምርት ገዢውን ይሄን ግዛ ሰራተኛውን እዚህ በግዴታ ስራ የሚል ሲስተም የለም so everything is based on self interest ማለት ነው ይሄ ሲሆን እንዳልኳችሁ there is no limit on accumulation of wealth አይደል አንድ ሀብታም ሰው የፈለገውን ሀብት ቢያጠራቅም በቃ የሚለው ስለሌለ based on his or her own efficiency በነገራችን ላይ they got their income because of work አይደል because of hard work they become enrich ስለሚሆኑ ሌላው ወደ ኋላ እየቀረ ስለሚመጣ there will be an equality of income ይኖራል ማለት ነው some people become extremely rich and some people will become extremely poor ማለት ነው in a capitalist system okay ሌላው existence of externalities which are negative የአንዱ ፊርም ወይም የአንዱ ፕሮዲዩሰር decision will affect the external environment ወይም the third parties ለምሳሌ for example the decision of a producer to produce something will create a pollution for the environment pollution የሚያስከስት ከሆነ የዛ ፊርም decision has harm for the external units right so ይሄ ምን ይባላል we call it negative externality ብለን እንወስደዋለን ለሶስተኛ ወገን ዳፋው የሚተርፍ externality አለ ማለት ነው በካፒታሊስት እሺ let's continue to the point of command economy describe እናድርገው command economy it is characterized by collective ownership okay no right for private property capitalist economy ላይ ማንንም ሰው የፈለገውን property accumulate የማድረግ መብት አለው ይላል when we come to the command economy የግል ብሎ ነገር የለም ሁሉ ነገር የህዝብ ነው okay it's going to be collective ownership okay central economic planning እነዚህ economic problems or economic questions the three questions are going to be answered centrally መንግስት ነው እነዚህ ጥያቄዎች የሚመልሰው okay so planning for resource allocation is by the controlling authority in a sense by the government ማለት ነው so እነዚህ ሶስት ጥያቄዎች የሚመልሰው መንግስት ነው መውሰድ ነው ቅድም minimal government role ብለን ነበር አይደል we have said that there is a minimal government role in the economy but now in a command economy there is a strong government role which simply is complete control over all economic activities በእያንዳንዱ economic activities ላይ መንግስት strong የሆነ role አለው command economy ላይ the other thing is maximum social welfare okay this command economy aims at maximizing social welfare and it also doesn't allow the exploitation of labor okay so in terms of economy ራሱ there is welfare ማለት ሁሉም ሰው relatively similar level of income ስለሚኖረው ተመሳሳይ የኢንካም ደረጃ ላይ የሚደርስ ማህበረሰብ ደግሞ socially welfare የተጠበቀ ይሆናል ተብሎ ይታሰባል the government will plan activities okay ፕሮጀክቶችን ሊያቅድ ይችላል መንግስት ምን ለማድረግ social welfare ለማስጠበቅ ስለዚህ social welfare አለ እያንዳንዱ ግለሰብ ዌልቢንጉ ተጠብቆ እንዲኖር የሚያስብ ኢኮኖሚክ ሲስተም ነው ኮማንድ ኢኮኖሚ ለምሳሌ በቅርብ ጊዜ እንኳን የሶቪየት ዩኒየንን ኢኮኖሚክ ሲስተም ማንበብ ትችላላችሁና እሱ is a kind of command economy the other thing relatively equality of income አለ okay ሁሉም ሰው ይሄ accumulation of wealth ንብረት የማጠራቀም ሰርቶ ትርፋማ ሀብታም መሆን ስለሚከለከል then everybody will become equal in terms of income. In order to read it, private property does not exist. አይደል የግል ንብረት ብሎ ነገር የለም. Okay, you cannot accumulate wealth. The profit motive is absent. Production or engaged in a production because of profit motive is absent in a command economy. Plus, there is no, because of these scenarios, there is no opportunity for a person or for you to accumulate wealth. In order to accumulate wealth, there is no opportunity. Income of every citizen in a society is relatively similar. Going to the case of mixed economy, which is the child of capitalist as well as command economy together መተው የሚፈጥሩት economic system, mixed economic system እንለዋለን. And this kind of economic system is characterized by simply there is a coexistence between publicum አለ as well as there is a private sector are operating together ማለት ነው. ሁለቱም አሉ, both of them are available in a system. There is economic welfare. Okay, economic welfare in a sense, ምንም እንኳን even though it is possible to accumulate wealth as of the capitalist economy, in the capitalist economy ዌልዝን ሀብት ንብረት ማፍራት ፖሲብል ቢሆንም ሊሚት ግን አለው. ኦኬ ሶ ሊሚት ስላለው አብዛኛው ሰው will become አሁንም ኤክስትሪም የሆነ ሀብታምና ኤክስትሪም የሆነ ደሃ አይኖርም ማለት ነው በሲስተም. ስለዚህ there is going to be economic welfare ይኖራል. By the way, there is going to be an economic growth ስለሚኖር living standard ይጨምራል, right? Economic growth is measured in terms of GDP, right? So some amount of ወይንም መጠነኛ የሆነ freedom ስላለ for a private sector, the private sector will be motivated by the profit ምናምን ይልና ያመርታል, የሆነ ደረጃ ይደርሳል. So there is going to be rapid economic growth. ስለዚህ rapid economic growth ካለ standard of living የህብረተሰቡ ይቀየራል ተብሎ ይታሰባል. ስለዚህ there is economic welfare ብለን እንወስዳለን in mixed economy. Economic planning, economic planning in a sense, answering those three economic questions, the government uses an instrument of planning to achieve coordinated rapid economic development. መንግስት የሚወስደው economic planning የሚፈልገው coordinated የሆነ rapid economic growth ነው. It is not ልቅ አይደለም, or it is not limitless. It has a limit, but it requires to have a rapid economic growth. Okay, economic growth ይኑር, ግን planned የሆነ coordinated የሆነ መሆን አለበት ማለት ነውና the system makes use of both the private and the public sector. Private and public በጋራ በመጠቀም it wants to have a planned, coordinated, rapid economic growth. በጣም ጠቃሚ ወርድ ነው. Planned, coordinated, and rapid economic growth by making use of both the government as well as the private sector ማለት ነው. The price mechanisms in a mixed system, the private sector ይሰራል, ግን ለመንግስት ሴክተር ላይ አይሰራም. The price mechanism ወይም the market doesn't answer these questions, those three questions for the public sector. The private sector ግን እነዚህ ሶስት questions the market will answer them ማለት ነው. so ማርኬቱ የሚመልሰው ከሆነ we call it a price mechanism ነው እነዛን ጥያቄዎች የመለሰው ብለን እንወስዳለን ቅድም እንዳብራራውላችሁ ማለት ነው okay the other thing is economic equality አለ ይሄንን እስቲ ዝም ብዬ ላንብብና ኤክስፕሌን ላድርግላችሁ private property is allowed የግል ንብረት is possible you can have your own wills okay but there is a limitation rules are fixed to prevent concentration of wealth በጣም አንድ ሰው ሀብታም እንዳይሆን ሊሚት ይደረጋል ወይንም ህጎች ይኖራሉ okay limits are fixed for owning land አሁን መሬት ምን ያህል መሬት መያዝ እንዳለብን ምናምን ሊሚት ሊቀመጥ ይችላል ፕሮፐርቲ ንብረትም ለማፍራት ሊሚት ይቀመጣል by using taxation by using concession which is selective taxation የሆነ መርጠን አንድን ድርጅት ትልቅ ታክስ እንዲከፍል ማድረግ method sometimes ደግሞ ሌላውን የተጎዳውን subsidize በማድረግ ድጎማ በማድረግ መንግስት we will achieve economic equality ይመጣል ማለት ነው ስለዚህ በምን ልናመጣ እንችላለን by what kinds of methods can we create economic equality we can say using progressive taxation concessions and also subsidy በመጠቀም economic equality ማምጣት እንችላለን በጣም ሀብታም ነው ሲል ታክስ እናበዛበትና ብዙ ገንዘብ እንወስዳለን ከዚህ ላይ ወሰርነው ለዚህኛው እንደጉመዋለን ከዚህ ሁለቱን እያመጣጠነን መሄድ እንችላለን ማለት ነው coming to the advantages and disadvantages of these three economic systems let's just begin by looking at capitalist advantage ምንድነው let's see it okay the first thing capitalist extreme freedom አላል nobody will force you to produce you have to engage in this system ምናምን ሚል ፎርስ የለም okay so there is extreme freedom for selection of what to produce how to produce for whom to produce selection is free to do so there is adaptability for a changing environment is possible if some new businesses are coming into life immediately the investor or the producer can engage itself to another production by closing this one so there is flexibility or adaptability አለ ማለት ነው ምንም ሚዛን ገደብ ስለሌለ ነገሮች ሲቀየሩ ወደዛ ዳይቨርስ የሚያደርጉበት ሜተድ አለ ማለት ነው the other advantage is decentralization of economic power ማለት እዚህ ማንንም ፕራይስ አይወስንም ማንንም እነዚህ ሶስት questions አይመልስም እነዚህ these three questions are going to be answered by the price mechanism አለቀ the market itself will decide on economic issues ስለዚህ centralized የሆነ ወይንም economic power በሆነ ቦታ concentrate ያደርጋል ብለን አንወስድም ያ that is also the advantage of capitalist economic system there is an increase in per capita income and standard of living እዚህ ጋር per capita income increase ያደርጋል as well as standard of living will increase why first of all per capita income ማለት GDP divided by the population okay GDP will it increase or decrease the capitalist ጊዜ you see in a capitalist economic system since the producers are motivated by profit they are motivated to get more wealth in order to become more rich they will engage themselves in more production they will use technologies they will use advanced methods in order to produce more and become profitable and become rich and richest okay so because of this motive there will be huge production so if there is a huge production which means GDP will be high ማለት ነው ምርት ብዙ ይሆናል ስለዚህ ምርት value divided by the population እየጨመረ ይሄዳል ስለዚህ ለእያንዳንዱ ዜጋ ያገኛል ተብሎ የሚታሰበው income will increase if that increases then we can say that standard of living will increase ማለት ነው okay The other advantage is new type of consumer goods. In order to become rich, in order to be successful in the market, ገበያ ላይ successful ለመሆን you have to always create new products. Let me tell you this by an example of Samsung. ለምሳሌ Samsung mobile, it has generations, right? Always innovations. J7, J5, J6, J7, S9, S9 Plus, S10, always for the purpose of attracting customers. There is going to be always a new type of products will be possible because of competition, right? So that is also the advantage of a capitalist economic system. There is also a growth of entrepreneurship, okay? Entrepreneurship means it is business creativity and business management. So business creativity will increase because that is the way to become more rich by attracting customers, right? So business at this business የመፍጠር trend ይጨምራል ማለት ነው በካፒታሊስት ጊዜ. that is also an advantage. The other thing is optimum utilization of productive resources. ለምሳሌ optimum use of resource ይባል. Let's say you have 1 and 2 አንድ እና ሁለት አሉ, and then I gave you the mathematical operations plus, minus, times, and divide. I give you that. So using these operations and using resources which are 1 and 2 create a larger number, or a larger number. 1 times 2 is equal to 2. Okay, 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0.5. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Then let's continue to summation. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3, greater number. 1 minus, 1 minus 2 is minus 1, lesser. 2 minus 1 is 1. So using 2 and 1, by using a summation is a kind of production ብለን ብንወስደው የፕሮዳክሽን ቴክኒክ ነው ብለን ብንወስድ ሁለትና አንድን ብቻ ተጠቅመን ኦፕቲመም ማምረት የሚቻለውን possible maximum production ማምረት ከቻለን we call it optimum ይባላል. ስለዚህ because of technology and because of innovation we can make use of our resources at the optimum level ማለት ነው. okay, ማግኘት የሚገባንን output መጠን ማግኘት እንችላለን because of technology and innovation, right? okay. There is a high rate of capital formation. ያው ሁሌ production ስለሚኖር because of a profit motive, private investors or private citizens will work, will produce and will produce and will produce, and they become rich, they invest. They become rich, they invest, which means their capital formation will increase ማለት ነው. okay, coming to the disadvantages of capitalist economy. ይሄ ልቅ የሆነው ኢኮኖሚ disadvantage ምንድን ነው? Such kind of economy with no limits, what are the disadvantages? okay, the first disadvantage is inequality of income. አንዱ በጣም ሀብታም ይሆናል ሊሚት ስለሌለ፣ አንዱ በጣም ድሃ ይሆናል. and ሁለተኛ unbalanced economic activity. የሆነ ክልል በጣም ያድጋል፣ የሆነ ክልል በጣም አያድግም. የሆነ section of the economy become extremely high in terms of growth and the other will be extremely low in terms of growth ይሆናል. this makes it unbalanced ማለት ነው. exploitation of labor. as long as labor ለመስራት እስከተስማማ ድረስ ይሰራል. there is no አላረለ ይሄ መንግስት አይከታተልልም እንዲያሰራው በዚህ ብር አሰራው ብሎ አይከታተልም. there is a free market. በአንድ ሺህ ብር ሰራልኝ ያለ ካልኩት አው ሰራለሁ ካለ that's it. ምክንያቱም sometimes ስራ ያጣው ሰው አማራጭ ያጣ ሰው ያገኘውን ዋጋ ተቀብሎ ይሰራል። በጣም ብዙ ሰዓት ሊያስለፉት ይችላሉ. so such kinds of labor exploitation is possible under the capitalist economic system. there is as usual negative externality አለ now let's come to the command economy advantage which is complete control of the economy by the government ሲኖር ምን አለ wasteful የሆነ competition እድገት ለማምጣት እርስ በርስ የምናደርገው wasteful competition is absent region to region section to section balanced growth ይኖራል because planned የሆነ resource allocation ስለሚኖር the other thing is elimination of private monopolies and inequalities ዝም ብሎ አንድ ሰው ብቻውን will not become rich which means he or she will not become monopoly of something monopoly የሚባል ነገር አይኖርም ይሄ monopoly you know let me underline this one avoid major evils of major setbacks of the capitalist economy በጣም የሚያስጠላ ጎኑ እዚህ የሉም እነዚህ የሚያስጠሉ ጎኖች ምንድናቸው the first one is inequality of income የለም inequality of wealth የለም there is no inequality of wealth and there is no extremely ነገር ነው የሌለው private monopolies are absent totally and concentration of economic political and social power በሆኑ ግሩፖች ብቻ concentrate የሚያደርገው ነገር የለም ግን ይሄ ሊሰራ የሚችለው in command economy by the way guys ይሄ መንግስት ብለን ያስቀምጥነው አካል በጣም የተሰጠው ስራ በአግባቡ without any limitations or without any problems if the government works efficiently then these things are possible in a command economy ማለት ነው ሙስና ምናምን ካለው this advantage will not be possible okay the other is the disadvantage of the command economy absence of automatic price determination የለም በቃ መንግስት ነው ዋጋ የሚወስነው and absence of incentives for hard work ማለት if there is no wealth accumulation right private property እንዲኖረኝ ካልተፈቀደ ለምን እሰራለሁ why am I going to work I mean ለምን አዲስ ቢዝነስ ፈጥራለሁ ለምን ለፋለሁ በቃ ያለውን ነገር እየሰሩ ይኖራል ማለት ነው so that is a disadvantage of a command economy ስለዚህ in a command economy the economy grows at relatively a slower rate ማለት ነው the other thing is lack of economic freedoms for economic units ለነዚህ ለኮንሱመር ፕሮዲዩሰር ዲስትሪቢዩተር ለሚባሉት ኢኮኖሚክ ዩኒቶች freedom የለም even for the buyers there is no freedom okay that is also another problem which is rate-upism you know it is widely prevalent in a command economy because all decisions are made by government officials በቃ የመንግስት ባለስልጣን መጥፎ ባህሪ ካለው በቃ there will be this problem okay and it will make the command economy ይሄን command economy fail ሊያደርገው ይችላል ይሄኛው disadvantage ማለት ነው እንደ ቀላል ነገር ምን ወስደው አይደለም the others are for mixed economy the mixed economy what are the advantages of mixed economy the first one is በነገራችን ላይ advantages of capitalist economy are present with limits ስለሚኖሩ ሁሉም all the advantages of the capitalist economy are present over here but there is some control by the government ከልክ እንዳያልፍ there is some kind of limits on the advantages of capitalist economy when coming to the concept of mixed economy the other is adequate freedom adequate in a sense not a complete freedom okay when we say adequate is moderate freedom mixed economy allows adequate or moderate freedom to different economic units not a complete freedom adequate በቁጥጥር ስር ያለ under radar okay it is a freedom but it is under radar or under observation ያለ freedom ነው ብለን እንወስደዋለን there is a rapid and planned economic development okay ያው ቅድም characteristics ስናይ ያስቀመጠው ነው እነዚህ private and the public sector ተናበው ከሰሩ ነው by the way guys ሲሰሩ there is going to be rapid እና planned የሆነ economic development ይኖራል sometimes ግን እስቲ ወደ ዲስአድቫንቴጁ ያው ሶሻል ዌልፌር ኤንድ ፊውር ኢኮኖሚክ ኢንኢኳሊቲስ አለ እዚህ ላይ ስለዚህ ጥሩ ነው ማለት ነው the other thing ወደ ዲስአድቫንቴጁ ስንመጣ inefficiency sometimes የመንግስት ባለስልጣናት if the government most of the time even the government is not efficient so if the government is not efficient mixed economic system will fail and the others is economic fluctuations okay if the private sector is not properly controlled ካልተደረገ ደግሞ መንግስት በስርዓት ኮንትሮል ካላረገው the private sector will manipulate the economy and it will create economic fluctuations ያስከስታል ማለት ነው when we come to 1.7 we have a decision making units and the circular flow model okay in the economic systems that we have seen previously there are decision making units in any economic systems we have said that we have 3 economic problems right those 3 economic problems are going to be answered by these decision making units so እነዚህ decision making units በኢኮኖሚክ ሲስተም ውስጥ የሚነሱ እነዛ 3 ኮሽኖችን የሚመልሱና እርስ በርስ ኢንተራክት የሚያደርጉ ናቸው and the circular flow model ማለት ደግሞ በእነዚህ decision making units which are actually 3 በእነሱ መሃል ያለውን ኢንተራክሽን የሚያሳይ ሞዴል ነው ማለት ነው there are 3 decision making units in a closed economy they are households firms and the government household by definition people who live under one roof በአንድ ቤት ውስጥ የሚኖሩ ሰዎች and make joint financial decisions እንደ አንድ የሚወስዱ እንደ አንድ ቤተሰብ የሚወስዱ ከሆነ we call them household ይባላሉ so households make 2 decisions the first one is ያላቸውን ሪሶርስ ይሸጣሉ they sell their resources can be land ሊሆን ይችላል መሬት ካላቸው መሬት ሊሸጡ ይችላሉ ለፕሮዳክሽን ለሰሪዎች ለፊርሞቹ ወይም ለመንግስት መሬት ሊሸጡ ይችላሉ የራሳቸውን ጉልበት as a worker they will sell themselves as a labor and sometimes something that they have produced by their backyard will be brought to the market ስለዚህ household ስንት decision make ያደርጋል they make 2 decisions ሪሶርሳቸውን ይሸጣሉ ከዛ ደግሞ ከውጪ ደግሞ የተመረቱ goods and services ደግሞ ይገዛሉ ማለት ነው ኦኬ firm ማለት ምን ማለት ነው by definition firm is a production unit እንዳልኳችሁ አምራች ነው that uses economic resources የሚጠቀም ምን ለማድረግ in order to produce goods and services outputን ለማምረት ኢንፑቶችን የሚጠቀም የፕሮዳክሽን ዩኒት firm እንለዋለን ማለት ነው firms similar to the households do make 2 decisions in the economy አንደኛ in order to get resources they buy resources then after production they sell their products so they have 2 decisions to make buying resources and selling their products and the third decision making units of the economy is government by definition government is an organization that has a legal and political power ያለው ሲሆን in order to control households firms in the market የሚቆጣጠር legal እና political power ያለው organization ነው ማለት ነው government the government also provides some types of goods known as public goods for and services for the society sometimes መንግስት ራሱ ሊያመርት ይችላል አምራች ሊሆን ይችላልና ሲያመርት ደግሞ የሚያቀርበው ሪሶርስ ወይም የሚያቀርበው output those goods and services provided by the government are known as to be public goods and services ይባላሉ in similar fashion the 3 economic agents interact into markets በነገራችን ላይ ይላል እነዚህ ሶስቱ the household the firm and the government economic system ውስጥ interact ያደርጋሉ when they interact in the economic system they interact into markets እነዚህ decision making units በስንት ማርኬቶች ላይ interact ያደርጋሉ by 2 markets the first one is resource market ነው and the second one is product market ነው ስለዚህ ስንት ገበያ ያለን ሪሶርስ የምንገበያይበት which is factor market ወይም input market ይባላል and where outputs are being sold output ወይንም የተመረቱ ምርቶች የሚሸጡበት ገበያ ደግሞ product market ይባላል ስለዚህ in resource market household ፊርም እና ገቨርንመንት ኢንተራክት ያደርጋሉ ግን እዛ ያላቸው ሮል የተለያየ ነው ለምሳሌ in resource market households are sellers government እና ፊርም ደግሞ ባየር ይሆናሉ when we come to the product market ሲሆን ደግሞ household እና government will become buyers but the firms are going to be sellers ይሆናል ማለት ነው anyways product markets are goods and services are exchanged or transact የሚደረጉበት ቦታ ነው ምንድነው የሚሸጠው የሚለወጠው they are goods and services in other words output ነው የሚሸጠውና የሚለወጠው ማለት ነው product market ላይ so households and governments ምንድናቸው እዚህ ጋር buyers ይሆናሉ and firm ምን ይሆናል seller ይሆናል ማለት ነው okay firms are going to sell their products to the household and to the government when we come to the factor market in a factor market there is going to be a transaction of factors of production ወይም ኢንፑቶች ናቸው የሚሸጡት የሚለወጡት ማለት ነው so households in a factor market are sellers as you can see over here and firms and governments are buyers ናቸው ማለት ነው okay so እነዚህን ሶስት ዩኒቶች ኢንተራክት ሲያደርጉ እነዚህ ማርኬቶች ላይ ኢንተራክት ሲያደርጉ የሚያሳየን ሞዴል we call it a circular flow model ይባላል a diagram that shows the interaction of these three decision making units of the economy which are households firms and governments interact የሚያደርጉበት ሞዴል we call it a circular flow model ይባላል ማለት ነው so this circular flow model can be presented in two ways በሁለት መንገድ circular flow modelን ማስቀመጥ እንችላለን አንደኛው a two sector model ሲባል ሁለተኛው ደግሞ a three sector model ይባላል three sector model እና two sector model what is the basic difference between these two models ብለን ስንጠይቅ ልዩነታቸው two sector ላይ ሁለት decision making ዩኒቶችን ወይንም ፊርምንና household relationshipን ብቻ ያያል three model ላይ ስንመጣ ደግሞ householdንና ፊርምን ያለው ሪሌሽንሺፕ እያሳየን በመሃል ደግሞ የመንግስትን የሚጨምርና ሶስት ይሆናሉ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ የሁለት ሴክተር ሞዴልን ወይም let's just begin the two sector model ሚለውን ዲስከስ እናድርግ now in a two sector model ሁለት ማርኬቶች አሉ a market for output እና a market for resource ነው የሚሸጠው so first of all let's discuss market for resource የሚለውን ዲስከስ እናድርግ በሪሶርስ ማርኬት ላይ households ምን ያደርጋሉ ሻጭ ናቸው they sell resources to the firms ለፊርሞቹ ሪሶርስን ይሸጣሉ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ when the households sell resources to the firms will pay money ፊርሞቹ ደግሞ ገንዘብ ይከፍላሉ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ money ከፊርም ወደ household ይሄዳል ማለት ነው ይሄንን በቀላሉ ለመረዳት እዚህ ጋር ያለው green light አለ እዚህ ጋር ቀይ አለ እዚህ ጋር green line አለ እዚህ ደግሞ ቀይ line አለ እስቲ ቀዩን ተመልከቱ the red indicates you that labor land እና capital ሊሸጡ ወደዚህ ማርኬት ሄዱ first of all ከዛ ሲሸጡ factors of production ሆነው ወደ ፊርሙ ይገባሉ ማለት ነው የፕሮዳክሽን ኢንፑቶች ሆነው ይገባሉ ኦኬ then ይሄ ፕሮሰስ እየሄደ look at the green line ስትመለከቱት እነዚህ ፊርሞች ለሰራተኛ ደሞዝ ለመሬት ሬንት and ለካፒታል ኢንትረስት ይከፍሉና ገንዘብ ወደ ኢንካም ሆኖ ገቢ ሆኖ ወደ household flow ያደርጋል ማለት ነው እዚች ጋር ያለችውን ፖይንት እናያለን ስለዚህ households sell materials firms pay money now let's continue to the market for goods and services ወደሚለው እንሂድ በgoods and services markets የሚሸጡት አውትፑቶች ናቸው። አውትፑት በሁለት ይከፈላል። ጉድ ኤንድ ሰርቪስ ተብሎ ይከፈላል። ጉድ ማለት አክቹዋል which is tangible የሆነ አውትፑት ነው። ሰርቪስ ደግሞ ኢንታንጂብል የሆነ አውትፑት ነው። ስለዚህ firms, now the firms, look at the green here, the green line indicates you that firms sell goods and services ይሸጣሉ። በዚህ ማርኬት ላይ ሻጮች ናቸው። then look at also the green line over here, goods and services ተገዝተው ወደ ሃውስሆልዱ ገቡ ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ከዛ look at the green line over here, it indicates you that money is spent, ገንዘብ ተከፍሎ ወደ ፊርሞቹ ሬቬኒው ሆኖ ይገባል ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ስለዚህ ይሄ ሰርኩላር ነው። look at the green line። አሁን አረንጓዴውን ብቻ ተመልከቱ። ከዚች ጋር ብንነሳ if we begin from this point, money goes here and here and here and here, then money reaches the households. ከዛ these households, in order to purchase materials, they will pay money. So money goes to the market of goods and services, and money continues to go as a revenue. እዚህ ጋር ገቢ ይሆንና continues to go to firms. So as you can see, this is circle ነው, right? circular flow የተባለው ለዚህ ነው, because it is circle ማለት ነው። while looking at resources ደግሞ ወይም አውትፑቶችን ስንመለከት, let's just begin ከዚች ጋር እንነሳ እስቲ። ከዚች ጋር ስንነሳ from the household, labor, land እና capital የተባሉ ሪሶርሶች ወደ ሪሶርስ ማርኬት ሄዱ። then ለማተሸጡ ለፊርም ሲሸጡ they become factors of production for the firms እዚህ ይገባሉ ማለት ነው። ከዛ the firm changes the resources into goods and service ያደርጋቸውና ወደ ገበያ ይዟቸው ይወጣል። ከዛ እዚህ ገበያ ላይ ገዙና goods and serviceዎቹ bought and go to the households ማለት ነው። so similarly resource ምን ይሆናል? resource is also circular የተባለው ለዚህ ነው ማለት ነው። so resource, money are circulating. resource, output እና money ምን ያደርጋሉ ማለት ነው? circulate ያደርጋሉ ማለት ነው። when we come to the three sector model, የቱ ሴክተር ሞዴል ላይ የነበረው ሞዴል በሙሉ እናስቀምጥና everything is the same except ገቨርንመንትን መሃል ላይ ማስገባት ብቻ ነው። okay now ስንት ማርኬት አለን? አሁንም similarly we have two markets for goods and services and market for resources። አሁን market for resource ላይ ቅድም the households sell their resources to the firm ነበር አይደል? ለፊርም ይሸጡ ነበር ቅድም ሪሶርሳቸውን right? አሁን ደግሞ ለፊርም ብቻ ሳይሆን they will also sell their resources to the government ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እነዚህ ሃውስሆልዶች ገንዘብ ቅድም ከፊርም ላይ ብቻ ነበር የሚቀበሉት፣ አሁን ከማንም ይቀበላሉ? also they receive money from the government. so this is a factor market. and a market for a goods and service ላይ ስንመጣ ደግሞ የአውትፑት ማርኬት ላይ ስንመጣ ሻጩ ማን ነው? firms are sellers, right? firms are sellers in a market for a goods services. firms sell their goods and services ይሸጣሉ። ቅድም የሚሸጡት ለሃውስሆልድ ብቻ ነበረ፣ only for labor ነበር። now they also have another customer which is the government ይገዛቸዋል። ስለዚህ they receive money from the household as well as also from the government ማለት ነው። so this is the circular flow model for resources, money and goods and services. now in order for summarizing, in a three sector economy, how many markets do we have? We have two markets, 1 and 2. in a factor market, households are sellers, government and firms are buyers. okay when we come to the case of market for goods and services, firms are sellers, government and households are buyers. okay so this is the end of chapter 1. chapter 1 is already completed through tutorial videos. ማለት እንችላለን። ስለዚህ there is a time for you አሁን you have to work the review questions of the module ሞጁሉ ይኖራችኋል ብዬ አስባለሁ። ከዛ ሞጁል ላይ ሪቪው ኩዌስችኖችን መስራት የሚገባችሁ ታይም ነው። if you have any questions ከስር ኮሜንት ላይ መጻፍ ትችላላችሁ ዩቲዩብ ቻናሉ ላይ or else ደግሞ ይሄንን ኢሜል በመጠቀም you can contact me ጥያቄም ይሁን አንዳንዴ ሃንድአውት የምትፈልጉ መምህራኖች ካላችሁ I can provide you with the handouts and materials እሱንም በኢሜል ኮንታክት ልታደርጉኝ ትችላላችሁ። and if you like the tutorial and if you want to receive future videos you have to subscribe Fortino YouTube channel. And if in case you think that this video is important for your friends, please share them through social medias or using emails. And that's it for today. Thank you very much. Until we meet again, stay safe. See you. Bye bye.